Can keep this, I guess, and the blind. That match was awesome. That was a really, really cool match. Well played by Luca. Play against Storm. A matchup I enjoy playing against, and a matchup I think we're favored in. Although this hand isn't good against them. One ticket. Worth a lot in paper. One ticket on Magic Online. It's the way she goes, bubs. Alright, I'll play Flooded Strand in case I draw Archmage's Charm. I want to have double blue. Force of Negation is the only good draw here. Probably dead. Opening chest now doesn't seem worth it. I always like to open chests because play points are valuable to me because I do a lot of brewing and losing off stream. So I like to open my chest. Also, the stream likes to see the chest being opened. That's a little bit of entertainment value, as this show is all channel is all entertainment, no educational value at all. Yeah, I agree that they might play around Force. And that's like our, best hope here. I think I'm going to Teferi and minus. I know this just means that Teferi dies, but we have another one. How are you supposed to open chest optimally? So you're either supposed to sell them or wait until a new set releases, just stockpile, 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 then open them all at once. And that's usually like a pretty profitable way to do it. But I mostly open them, I think, for the stream's sake, or that's what I tell myself to satiate my gambling desires, I guess. All right, I'm gonna use the restroom. We'll see if our opponent kills us. Killed us impressively quick. Okay. Tails didn't counter Storm, but that's all it does. It stifles the Storm trigger. It's not terrible. We'll see what else we have to take out. Like, I think Spreading Seas is really bad in this matchup. Rest in Peace is okay. I think it's pretty overrated, though. Does counter Baral, too. I think I'll play, like, one. Talzin is better than Remand. I disagree with you there. Talzin is just not going to stop them from going off very often. Like, they'll just like flashback Past in Flames and storm you again. It's not that big a deal for them. In fact, I think I may even be off of it. I don't hate Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. It's really bad against Remand, but it's great if it resolves. I think I'm gonna leave it at home. Also, yeah, Rest in Peace just kind of. I think that Graveyard Hate is really, really overhyped against Storm. Gust is good against Aria Flame. It also hits Electromancer, Manamorphose, Rituals, and Past in Flames. I might just play 3. So, you don't need to play Settle the Wreckage for Goblins because you have Batterskull. Batterskull can beat a lot of Goblins. All islands. Gonna mulligan, of course. Keeping this, and let's put back Jace. Jace is pretty hard to tap out for. Do they only play one Remand? I don't know, like, normal lists look like these days, I guess, but like 3 to 4 Remands in the main deck is common, from my understanding. Great draw. What's my plan in this matchup, Spike? Instep Sharks, leave up permission the whole game. My plan in this matchup is going to change depending on what I draw, what my opponent draws. Stoneforge Mystic is definitely like a pretty viable option. Into turn Sharks is an option. Just overwhelm them with counter spells and card advantage spells is also an option. Just going to depend on what we draw and what they do. Let's remand this, so hopefully next turn we can go Archmage's Charm to draw 2 and Spell Snare. Or maybe now that we've drawn Stoneforge Mystic, we could go Stoneforge plus Spell Snare. Both seem fine. Or we could play Teferi Time Raveler. I think I'm going to play Stoneforge with Snare up. Get a Feast and Famine. Yeah, Force of Negation, really, really tough for Storm. Yeah, Aria Flame is just not that scary when we have Teferi in our hand. Like, you get to gain a ton of life, and you can also just race it sometime. It's not like they have all the time to kill you with Aria. I don't hate forcing back. We could also just, like, if they don't have a land, we can just play Teferi and bounce the Brawl. I'm gonna force. Certainly, you know, something to consider there. I don't hate getting Teferi down, but I think I'd rather hold up Charm or Sword. Put them under a lot of pressure. Don't have double white. I don't think we're gonna lose because we didn't get Hallowed Fountain. Their hand would have to be like so great. So then they're just not going to chump block, so let's make sure we get our hit here. If they chump block, we're thrilled. If they block, we'll probably float white mana here. Think about pathing right now. Well, I think I'd rather path in their upkeep. They discard Past in Flames. Yeah, I'll just path in their upkeep and hold up Charm. How would Athena feel about some pets right now? I think she went back to bed, so probably not right now. She was hanging out earlier, but I don't see her anymore. And usually when she's napping, like this time of day, she just does not want to go anywhere. All right, so path resolves after the 1 mana Morphos. Feeling pretty good about that. Yeah, Stoneforge is good in this matchup, and in most matchups. Yeah, Aria Flame is so fine here. We just play Teferi, bounce it, and then we get to untap with Charm up. Get to gain just all this life for free, really. I think I will counter it on the way down, but just kind of 10 free life for us. Gotta change the streaming schedule to be more Athena pet friendly. She's changed her nap schedule to fit the stream, so I don't think she'd like that. Her nap schedule is like very catered around my my work. Have I played the mono white Dax's deck on stream? I haven't, and I don't plan to, but I do have a Dono deck option if you want to see me play it. I also don't think red is good in Stoneforge in Stoneblade right now. Or at least I haven't found a build I like. Yeah, I think countering pieces here is fine. We just get to Mystic Sanctuary a Charm, and then make them discard their last card here and win the game. Athena does, you know, basically nap at the same time every day. She really, really dislikes it if her schedule isn't adhered to. You know, she likes to be pet in the morning and then walked again by Esther. And if Esther's not there, I walk her again. I think she naps, and you know, she'll do her thing during the day, during the stream, and you know, another walk, and then food, and then play, and then pets, and then sleep. And she's upset if those things don't happen. What do I think about the double-faced red? The double-faced dual lands in Modern? I like them a lot. I don't think they go in every deck, but they are good deck-building tools. This hand is great, and our opponent's already mulliganed to 5. Not the best draw, but not the end of the world either. Spell Snares looked really good today. Glad I'm back on 1 copy. I think we'll just get a basic Plains here, and then we can get Prairie Stream. We have a 3rd blue source if we draw Archmage's Charm. On a Mold of 4, like, there's almost no way we can die. They have to have like a million mana Morphoses and a land and a guy. Well, they've got a guy. I just pass. We have Force and Gust up. Okay, Shock in the Steam Vents. Play a Baral. So we can put in sort of Fire and Ice, equip, kill the Electromancer, and hold up Gust. But then we're also like just not able to really activate the Stoneforge too effectively from that point. Just not sure if we go Fire Ice or Feast and Famine here. I think I'd rather do Fire Ice. We'll have Force up, and they'll be down to one guy. They'll have 3 cards. This also means, like, you know, any amount of Empty the Warrens tokens don't matter very much. So it's very unlikely that they can have mana, a payoff, and a counter spell for my Force. In fact, just a Manamorphose in general is like... They needed to start on Manamorphose here. Resolves. I do like this card in Storm. I like this card in like blue-red combo decks in general. They've drawn Mystical Dispute, which is a piece of the puzzle, I feel. But not the, you know, the card pieces of the puzzle, of course. But, you know, they're just dead next turn, and if they don't have an answer right now. They discard Brawl, so their hand is Dispute Mystery card. I don't know that there's a combination of cards that gets them out of this, especially because we can just pay for Dispute with another counterspell up. Resolves. Alternate casting here because we can just pay. Not as good as Dispel. But we'd also win even if we just had the Snare. Or if this was Dispel, I guess. There's not really too much else drawing me to black, I think. I don't really like discard spells in these decks. I don't want a main phase path. They'll just discard a Field of Ruin. I'm going to get basic planes here, and because I only have 1 basic planes, I want to fetch in response to the Goblin Guide trigger, because it's really bad if they if we reveal basic planes to Goblin Guide and we have to fetch and shock. If my only goal was to top the trophy board and I didn't care about the stream, how would I approach that? I should probably say that that's not a good goal, probably, because the trophy board doesn't mean anything. Really, it's just kind of clout. But I have been at the top of trophy boards in the past, and I find that the best way to do it is to just play fast and well-positioned decks. The key is to be able to finish a league in like an hour and just be able to play a bunch. But I don't think the trophy board matters too much. Okay, so we're going to play Stoneforge again, and if they kill it, we will path it off of a Prairie stream here. Prairie stream really paying off. Maybe I was supposed to get Fire Ice, but I also feel like pressuring their hand is good. How's the beef between me and Fran going? It's going well, I guess, because I'm so angry that he hasn't started the beef. So it's going great. Alright, just get a Hallowed Fountain now. Yeah, if you're trophy chasing, just like drop as soon as you. If you're really just trying to be the top, drop as soon as you lose, which is, you know, also not wise. Are the tribal decks like Spirits or Humans good against Burn? I think Burn is good against, or Humans is good against Burn. Although Burn can definitely win, of course. And I think that Spirits is probably slightly unfavored against Burn. Maybe it's closer at least. What me and Fran were just joking about getting into beef to, you know, like benefit the stream yesterday. Just a goof. There's no tea to be spilled here, I promise. Does this even matter? I think I still want to remand this, because this lets us put Sword of Feast and Famine into play. This doesn't feel like it matters very much. So I bet they chump with Goblin Guide here, which is fine. Fire Ice would be better here, for whatever that's worth. No chumping. Well, that's great for us. Their hand is now Searing Blaze Mystery card, and I guess this game is over. It's, you know, this is a game 1, so very unlikely they can answer my Germ token. Yeah, Streets ahead. So Tails In is good because it comes in every matchup, of course. Just kidding. I do like Condemn. I do like Aether Gust. I do like Force of Negation as well. But I don't like Force of Negation when I'm playing Control. But I do like this to... Oh, sorry. Against Burn, I always like Force. Against Prowess, I don't like Force when I'm playing Control, but I do still like it when I'm playing Stoneblade. Not a big fan of Shark Typhoon in the matchup. I think I'm also going to cut Sword of Feast and Famine. Cut like 2 Sharks. Cut Jace. I do like Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Has just a ton of loyalty, and it's so good to go Teferi plus and play a Gust. It's also possible that Spreading Seas is a card I want on the play and not the draw. So maybe we can play the Sharks on the draw and Spreading Seas on the play. Do you cut the equipment in fear of Smash? No, Batterskull is just your best card in the matchup. You even have a Force of Negation for Smash. Have I seen Buttercup/Bluebell recently? No, although I think Esther's mom has, and yeah, that's where she lives. But we're not like going on play dates. I think this configuration looks pretty good. I don't know, maybe I do want to play Tails, Spreading Seas. I think Seas on the draw is like a little too slow, but it's really good on the play. Yeah, Shark Typhoon is good against Eidolon, and it's a body that holds a sword sometimes, but it's not great against Burn. I think we are supposed to keep a hand like this, but it's not perfect. Pathing on turn 1 feels, you know, bad usually. Especially when you have to shock. Just not the exchange you're hoping to make. There's a Stoneforge Mystic on turn 1, and we have a good curve. We have, you know, Path into Stoneforge into Charm. Maybe there's something we could reveal that we didn't want to path here. Probably not. There's another Stoneforge Mystic on top. Hoping for no Eidolon. Cool. Searing Blaze is kind of bad, but we do have a second Mystic. And we can play around Smash to Smithereens if we fear that. Best case is just, if they just like Lightning Helix Stoneforge. That's really good for us. Boros Charm Us is interesting. Boros Charm Me makes me think about Smash to Smithereens being in their hand. Pretty interested in seeing like Force of Negation on top. Just an Archmage's Charm. Just an Archmage's Charm. Then Lava Spike me down to 7. Let's pass. Yeah, they could have a Braid. Either one is bad. I think I'm just gonna steal Goblin Guide here. It's not super likely we die at 7 life. It's not impossible. But drawing like an Aether Gust or a Force of Negation to protect my Batterskull seems nice. We could die to Boros Charm, but it's pretty unlikely we die if they don't have one here. And they're just passing. Cool. Maybe path the Goblin Guide, get some mana. Either way, I think we're passing. They did nothing with their mana. That's so good for us. And they should be out of basics here. Huh. I'm going to counter this. I feel like we can get into a spot where they can like cast the Lava Spike and then pass with a bunch of instant speed burn up, and we're going to have our mana and counter spells overwhelmed. So I don't hate that trade here, and I'm going to cast Rampant Growth. They bolt me. They have Boros Charm. Bolts. I'm at 1. 1 is not 0. I think their last card is probably, you know, Smash or Braid. At this point, the Batterskull may be too slow anyways, so I'm just going to play Teferi. Hope to draw a 2-mana counterspell, an Aether Gust. Something. And we can put in Batterskull end of turn if we don't fear anything. Brian, 11 months in a row. Can't believe it's almost a year. Thanks for playing Sharkblade on your anniversary. Sure thing, dude. Hope you're having a good day today. Happy anniversary. Okay, now I'm feeling a little bit easier. Okay, Force of Negation is fine. Finally, we found one. Just gonna pass. They've got 2 cards. One of them is almost definitely an answer to an artifact, although now we have the answer to the answer. Could have maybe just used that mana to put in the Batterskull, but I think I'd rather blank their mana this turn. So we put in Batterskull, we have Remand plus Force Up. That might not be enough if they have double Smash. I think it's time. Where? Alright, let's Remand that, and then we can force it back on the way down. But this is good against Lightning Bolts, because if they have bolts, they can't cast both Wear and Bolts. And now we win. Close game. Sure, I'll take that. It's 2 more life. It also means if they kill the Batterskull, we still have an equipped Sword of Fire and Ice. Close game, close game. Oh, man. 2-0 in the league. 2-0 in the league. Keep. A lot of options next turn. Basic Island go. Against Basic Island, we're going to take the easy option of Stoneforge Mystic. No Spell Snare. No chance they Spell Snare even. I'm going to get Batterskull. We don't know what we're playing against, and Batterskull will often prompt my opponent into pathing before I get to untap, and I'm usually really happy when that happens. Yeah, I just love when they do this. I think it's really a really good exchange for me. Yeah, I'll play that. Play around Stub, I guess. Something. Could have maybe Spreading Seas and held up Remand. They forced pitching Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. Teferi Time Raveler on their side would be bad. They seem to not have it. What do you think about the Sultai Uro with gifts? I think the deck is probably fine. I haven't picked it up recently. I think the deck is really fun, and you can certainly find success with it at a local weekly event. And I do think local weekly events are really good environments for like more casual, fun decks that you enjoy. But it's probably not the most competitive choice you can make. Second natural basic planes, interesting. All right. Yeah, we got a 2-for-1 off the path. We got a 2-for-1 off the force. Feeling pretty good. Yeah, I haven't been to a local event in a long time, but I went to GP Phoenix as my last Magic tournament in paper. So happy I went. I missed GP Austin this year, going to a friend's wedding. I don't regret that. Gonna bounce draw? Sure. Sure. So now I think we played... Okay, now we played Jace instead of Batterskull. Oh no, I need to play Field of Ruin. That's fine, I'll play Jason plus. This is still the time to play Jace, I think. If they force, we probably let it go. I'm gonna plus targeting myself. And I can keep that. Yeah, I agree that a GP is about the experience. I had a great time. I got to meet the Dive Down podcast people in person. Got to drink with them. It was a really good time. Alright, you got a counterspell? They do not. Okay, you can put we can even make a shark to block the colonnade. Jace is also at 5, so colonnade doesn't even do too much. What is my drink of choice? I mean, I like a lot of different things. It's been a long time since I've been to a bar. We do know that they have a Force of Negation, so we'll keep that in mind. My drink of choice is all of them. Just gonna keep trying to grind him out of cards here. Yeah, I like Moscow Mules a lot. I have fond memories of with my friend Dalton just going to every bar in our city looking to find the best Moscow Mule. And I don't remember it at all. Well, I do, but I don't remember which Moscow Mule was the best. I lost track after like the 5th one. 6 mana, 5 mana for Colonnade. Ah, all right. Well, they have a chance maybe if they can protect this, which they can, right? Okay. No, we didn't know about this force. But now they also have to like tuck the shark token. Yeah. Then we get to resolve some stuff here. Let's get these equipment out of here. No, dang it! I meant to cast Cryptic Command. I meant to cast Cryptic Command. I was gonna bounce the Teferi and force it on the way down. Well, I guess I get another brainstorm. A lot of misclicks today. It's fine. We're still just gonna win this game. We're like still streets ahead. Bounce season, put it on Colonnade. I did think about it, but I'm also pretty happy if we just get to path Colonnade here, make them sink all this mana into it, and we can just bounce the Teferi and force it next turn, and we're fine. They've got something else. Shade 9 months in a row. Spike. Ooh. Thanks, Beck. Thank you, dude. Go draw 2. Resolves. Could hardcast Shark Typhoon and then bounce and then force. Seems good. If I had to say if that was good or bad, I'd say good. I don't have a second force in the yard. It's fine. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . I don't know. I guess I'm supposed to be brainstorming too. It doesn't really matter. Are they conceding? Okay. Makes sense. It is a hard cast Shark Typhoon. Yeah, we were just reminiscing about meeting you guys at GP Phoenix. It's really cool. Another Tails End matchup. Seems like they're hard control, and I think that even though they're hard to control, this matchup won't be very hard. They could, I guess, be Stoneblade, but it seems like their card choices that they're just a hard blue-white control deck. How about like blue-white versus Jeskai? I really like Jeskai. I really like blue-white Miracles, and I really like this deck, Sharkblade. I think all three decks are good. I really like blue-red Through the Breach. I think that there are tons of different ways to build these blue decks, and I don't know which is the best one. And I'm also not playing in a tournament this weekend. Got some responsibilities. But I think that they both have strengths and weaknesses, and they do very different things. I mostly really dislike Path to Exile in this deck. I don't think it's worth it to splash for a different 1-mana removal spell, though. Splashing a 1-drop is not free. And I thought about playing Onthanice, but I think there's too many Death and Taxes decks to play Onthanice. What about Sharkblade versus Jeskai Wildfire? I was talking about that. The Jeskai. When I say Jeskai, I mean Jeskai Wildfire. I don't think Jeskai Stoneblade is better than Blue White. I've played both. I think this is the best way to build Stoneblade. I think Jeskai Wildfire Control is the best way to build a traditional Blue White X control deck. But Miracles is a non-traditional Blue White control deck that is also good right now, I think. What about Yield Grixis? I think that if you want to play Grixis, it's better to play straight blue-black control instead. I think Bloodchief's Thirst is better than Lightning Bolt right now, and so you don't really need those extra 1-mana removal spells that you would get from splashing red. I guess the best reason to splash red would probably be the Platinum package in the sideboard, but I probably would rather be blue-black. But I've been working on blue-black lists, and I think that there are some things drawing you to blue-black. I think Fatal Push is the best 1-mana removal spell in Modern, but overall, I haven't figured it out yet. Or figured out where I want to be with it, I should say. What about Sultai Midrange? I've played Sultai Midrange on the channel, and I think Sultai Midrange is good. If you want me to build it for you, I do have a Dono deck option, but there's also a guy called TSP Jindrik who plays a lot of Sultai and plays it well. What do I think of Bloodchief's Thirst? I think that it is usually going to be worse than any number of Fatal Push right now. My initial evaluation was not exactly that, but I do think it's going to be generally worse than any number of Bloodchief's Thirst, or sorry, any number of Fatal Push. But I think that it's good in addition to Fatal Push. Yeah, Entreat is great. I think Miracles is good right now. I've been winning every time I play Miracles, I think. Ingeniera, 3 months in a row. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good day today. Haven't looked at the stream yesterday. How's the Scales deck? We 5-0'd with it. Good. Yeah, so I think TSP Jindrik is another streamer, e-boy like me, that plays a lot of Sultai and does well with it, and plays other decks too, but I would recommend going there for some content. Do you have a favorite in-paper island art? I would have said Unhinged for a long time, but I guess I'm shopping right now. Looking to maybe expand my brain. Oh, sorry, I misspelled the name. Man, this is a 3-for-1. So good. I believe you would put 4 push before your first Bloodchief. Yes, I think that's what I was trying to say while I was stuttering and stumbling like I usually do. So we can play Teferi with double Remand up here. It's pretty good. Welcome to the Shark Typhoon, opponent. It's a good draw. We even have Tails end up, so we can't possibly lose. Maybe I'm supposed to play so I can pay for Dispute and then hold up Remand. Yeah. I was thinking I was going to want a Mystic Sanctuary back a Remand, but playing a Sanctuary is really good against Dispute. How's it going, Evan? I've been watching you play some Alien. Me and Esther were drunk 2 nights ago. We were hanging out watching you play. Alright, let's Remand our own Teferi. Yeah, we're just getting mono 2 for 1s. And I'll put another Remand back on top. I think there are definitely times when Path is better than Bolt. Just hasn't felt that way for a while. We could Tails in the Omen of the Sea, but I think I'll pass. We did Tails in an Omen of the Sea earlier. So now we have, I guess Tails End being up isn't very relevant, but I will play my land first. I'm just going to pass it back again. It's not very likely that they could resolve anything, but we're just so ahead. I think we can pretty easily pass back. How many sharks do I run? 4, and I think any less is incorrect. We're gonna do it again? I'll do it again. We could Remand let's just Remand the Cryptic. That way we can get Teferi into play. 3+, yeah. Yeah, Remand has been really good for a long time now, I think. I think the Fatal Push is the best 1-mana removal spell in Modern at the moment. Do with that information what you want. Is it time for 4-0 into Red White Angels? I hope not. I've been lucky to dodge it for as long as I have. I do think Memory Lapse would be cool in Modern. Let's keep this. I think we're playing Prairie Stream on turn 1. Our opponent revealed Yorion, so I think we're playing against Omnath, and I think this hand is okay against Omnath. And we have 3 Tails in for this matchup. Yeah, let's just not draw the Batterskull. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Do I think Back to Basics would be appropriate power level for Modern if it got reprinted? Yes. Huh. Well, that's kind of like drawing Batterskull. Kind of surprised to see Noble Hierarch over there. Could be like, opponent said they're a fan. Maybe they're playing 80 card Soul Rider. Could be. Yorion doesn't make much sense with spirits. I think this is a Soul Herder deck. Yikes. Yeah, I mean, there's no way this is like... It's not Yorion, in fact. That's not a thing, right? Alright, fail to find. Yeah, it's Soul Herder, which is a bad matchup, for the record. Sadly, we're not playing our Torpor Orbs today. They don't go in this deck. I've been playing a lot of Torpor Orb in just Modern in general. Is this a good Tails End matchup? Maybe. Counters an ETB trigger. Yeah, I haven't been playing Torpor Orb and Stoneblade, but I've been playing it in Miracles. And in not the Spike Feeder deck, the we played it in the Scales deck yesterday. Let's main phase this Shark Typhoon. I would really like to hit a land to go Sword plus Equip all in one go. We can maybe just find a white source too and path our own like illusion token. Illusion spike, illusions. Okay, Ice Fang is going to be protected from no matter which sword we equip. Can't you tails in the return trigger from Yorion? Dude. That came up in standard. They put Yorion into their hand. We don't have a good answer for it though. Not right now. How's Liliana positioned right now? I think she's okay. It's just kind of the other cards stink. Oh, finally Fran has tweeted some tea at me. We can get this Twitter beef going. I think we'll probably have to path the Skyclave apparition. And get this sword established. Did I ever hear from Yami yesterday about the Scales 5-0? He said nice. Friend, I'm gonna need some time, but oh, they're getting Knight of Autumn. All right, never mind. I'll have some witty retort for your Twitter beef soon. Rest assured. Or really milk it. I really want to Tails End a Yorion returns trigger. That would be so awesome. That would be so awesome. Let's cut these Spreading Seas. Play Hero. Play Tails End. Probably want like some number of Aether Gust. Maybe like 2. I don't think I want Rip. Maybe I do. It's good against the Eternal Witnesses. Not that good against anything else, really. There's Arrow, maybe. Stops my own Mystic Sanctuary. I think I'm going to say no to Rip. I don't... Maybe we want Settle, too. I kind of don't like Settle too much, though. Against Soul Herder. This looks pretty good to me. Milking Beef is very technical. No main deck Isolate. Yeah, I don't really like main deck Isolate. I think it's just dead in too many matchups. Sideboard maybe. I'm gonna keep this. I love if they play Hierarch and maybe we go like Remand their turn 2 play, then steal their Hierarch with Charm. That works too. We did beat main deck Isolate, yeah, with Scales yesterday. What happened to Ontanice? I think that there's too many Taxes decks for me to want to play Ontanice at the moment. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Well, at least they're not veiling my Charm, I guess, so we still get to draw a card. Another reason why Remand is like, you know, not... Or is been my 2-mana counterspell of choice. You just get to still draw a card if they Veil of Summer. It's kind of nice. Could Mystic Sanctuary back Charm, steal another one. Second Coiling Oracle. Teferi does stop Veil of Summer, Ephemerate, a lot of things. I think I'm going to want to cast Teferi here. And just plus. That might be true, Fran. They might just have a good blue matchup without the Veils. Are we supposed to Aether Gust their birds here? No, I don't think so. We could, but I don't think we're supposed to. They've got a lot of mana. But I do think the Soul Herder decks are good against blue. This is fine. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't target my bird. This is fine. It does kind of indicate that they have maybe a Veil of Summer or Ephemerate, but it's fine. I think I am going to use my mana and gust their bird here. It's not great, but it does feel relevant to me at least. And if they have Veil of Summer, I think I am just fine getting the Veil out of their hand with this. They go and just put the bird on the bottom. Blue was never bad. Blue was bad in Modern for years and years. Basically until Modern Horizons, I think. Just let that one go. Yeah, not really. There was Mono Blue Tron, of course. Mono Blue Tron, the best deck in Modern that everybody so unfairly shits on all the time. They got Ice Fang. Ice Fang's pretty good here. We can like gust it, make a 2/2 shark, block Coiling Oracle. Well, if my opponent's not going to respect the Shark Typhoon, we're going to make him learn. I guess they can just like flicker the... I mean, if they flicker the Deputy, we get the Teferi at least. And they don't get to rebound Ephemerate. Yeah, so they flicker the Deputy. Are they going to target Teferi or the Shark? They target the Teferi. I guess that makes sense. So that way they get their Ephemerate. So their hand is now Ice Fang, and they have an Ephemerate coming down. Shark Typhoon has replaced itself. I'm going to attack for 4. I guess we only do this if we want to counter the Ice Fang, though. Yeah, I'll gust Ice Fang. They're not playing Ice Fang here. Weird. Weird. Maybe we'll just let it go. I think letting it go is good. And I'm going to counter the Ephemerate, or try to. Oh, it doesn't have Death Touch, I see. They're targeting Coiling Oracle. I thought they were going to target this. That's fine. I mean, are we really talking bad about white right now when like mono white Death and Taxes is all of a sudden like this really good deck in Modern? I think white's good. At least in Modern. I really want to build a version of this deck. Can you tell me why there's no Tef hero in the main board? I think Teferi is too slow in the main. You know, this is a very aggro heavy format. Like main decking 5-drops in a deck that's trying to kind of be low to the ground game 1. It's kind of tough. I like Teferi basically in hard control decks and nowhere else. So we can counter this Ephemerate and put it in the graveyard if we Aether Gust the Uro right now. Maybe just let it go. I'm hoping to draw maybe a path for Deputy and get Teferi down and stop the Ephemerate on the way back. I do like pineapple on my pizza, and I'm not afraid to admit it. They have 5 spells in their hand. Yeah, fear of Shark Typhoon, opponent. Oh, after Twin and before JTMS, which was worse, blue or white. I think they were both worse. Ah, you have different tastes in food than me. I can't believe it. I want my subscription back. Got him down to 8. Got pretty lucky, I think, that they just never found a land here. They do get an Ephemerate, and if they target the Deputy, we have to counter this. Yeah. Or try to. You canceled. They escape Uro, I'll cast Aether Gust. They've already used 2 Ephemerates. A third one would be bad. Alright, so please no Ephemerate, please no Mystical Dispute. And I'm saying please, so I feel like I'm kind of due to dodge both of those cards. I built Jeskai Stoneblade and can't wait to try it. Do I think Jeskai is worth it if it's very aggro? I am of the opinion that if you want to play a Jeskai Stoneblade deck, I like the version with Tribal Flames. If you want to play a Jeskai deck, I think the best one, though, is the Cleansing Wildfire control deck. And I think that if you want to play a Stoneblade deck, I think that this is the best version. But if you want to play Jeskai Stoneblade, I like the Tribal Flames version that we put together on stream a little while ago. Alright, so we're going to Gust the Ice Fang, attack for 8. Abzan with Skyclave is kind of interesting, I agree. They had an Ephemerate? How did they have Ephemerate in their hand? What in the world? I guess this is one of my paid actors. Didn't recognize the username at first. I'm shook. I'm shook. Oh, we can Tails in the Rebound on Ephemerate. It's kind of cool. I'm gonna cut 1 and play 1 Force, I think. Our opponent just, like, we were super dead if they just cast the Ephemerate on their turn and they just didn't, and we won the game. I thought for sure they didn't have one, but I guess they did. I'm gonna mulligan this. I'll keep this one. Let's put back a fetch. Could put back Prairie Stream. I'll just play the Prairie Stream on turn 1. I've put some Abzan Stoneblade decks together and messed around with it off stream and not been too impressed, I guess. I see. That makes sense. If it's an instant, why would you play it at sorcery speed? They revealed another Coiling Oracle to their first one. Probably Gust Coiling Oracle? It's better to Remand if they don't have a land. But if they don't have a land and we go Gust into like Steel Bird again, that'd be pretty good. And I do want to steal this bird. But maybe I won't like run into Veil of Summer. Take my hit here. If I built Abzan, would I include Flagstone's Reclaimer? No. I don't know why you get Prairie Stream here if you weren't going to use the mana. I think it'd be better to get a tapped shock land. Tamio, Field Researcher. Well, they couldn't force Tamio to resolve last turn. I'm hoping they can't this turn either. I'm going to Mystic Sanctuary. Oh, boy. That's bad. I am going to Mystic Sanctuary back something here. I think I'll get back Remand. But next turn I want to have Charm plus one of these two 2-mana spells up. And Cryptic the Tamio. This resolved last turn, or sorry, the Remand resolved last turn, so I think that this is going to work again, thank goodness. Dude, I love Gavney Township. I don't think it's very good in their deck, but I do like it a lot. Might just like steal. If they just activate Township, we might steal a bird or something and then equip a sword to it. Oh, shouldn't it be F6'd? Oh, damn it. It's fine. Just 1 mana draw 2. Not the end of the world. Our top card is Cryptic Command. We know Knight of Autumn as one of their 2 cards. They just revealed it off the Oracle. They put Yorion into their hand, which is pretty remandable, but they do know that we have this remand. So they're going to attack. Are they going to activate Gavany? If they activate Gavany, I'll steal the Hierarch. Although we could steal the bird and then hit them with the sword. Although the problem with that is then they get to resolve Yorion. It's fine. Oh no, I didn't let the township counter resolve. Sorry, guys. Sorry, that was a mistake. I guess I don't want to play the knight into the... Or I don't want to play the sword into the knight. Yeah, we don't need this counter. It's fine. Their hand is Yorion, Knight of Autumn, 2 mystery cards. Oh yeah, yes. This needs to go in the YouTube video, the takedown. I think Glasspool Mimic is good in Modern. I really like Glasspool Mimic. Skyclave Apparition. Counter draw. I think I just want to use this Cryptic, which is pretty unwieldy. The Remand is kind of checking Yorion. And next turn we can... Oh, boy. Huh. Yeah, let's remand this and hold up Tail's End. And then their hand is Charming Prince, Yorion, Knight of Autumn, and they can't cast any of it. Yeah, this also really checks Yorion, of course. Can we hardcast Shark Typhoon and hold up Tail's End? Seems good. Although if we hardcast Shark Typhoon, they're gonna Knight of Autumn my Typhoon, and we need to Tail's End that, and then they just cast Yorion, so that doesn't work. So we can just cast Sword of Fire and Ice, equip, hold up Tail's End, kill the bird, and then we can Tail's End the Knight, but then they can play Yorion if they have a land, so I think we just pass. Cycle Shark and hold up Tail's End. And their hand is Yorion, Knight of Autumn, mystery card. Yeah, I was just talking out loud all of my options, of course. But so if they played Knight of Autumn and then Yorion, we probably just counter the Yorion itself. But of course, countering the returns play trigger is so juicy. Oh, we knew this card too. Forgot we knew this card. That one's fine. Yeah, we can field Gavany, but Gavany just doesn't matter too much right now, I think. Tail's End has been great. Knight of Autumn, Yorion, mystery card. They play Knight of Autumn, resolves. Gain 4. They can't activate Gavany, so now we can just make the biggest shark we want to. They wisely play around it. There's really never a spot where you're not supposed to play around Shark Typhoon. I kind of maybe we field the ruin and just make a shark that's a little smaller. Let me think about the numbers. Yeah. Let's just do this. Maybe turn 1. Nah. They could have Simian Spirit Guide, Shark Typhoon. Like Guide, Shark Typhoon. You never want to attack into the shark, no matter what the situation is. There's never a time where it's correct to do so. And also, all the best. I guess now we can just Stoneforge Mystic and make them just... Yeah, we could just get sort of Feast and Famine here, which is like the boring thing, but the correct thing. This is a bad matchup, so I'm glad that I think we're going to steal this match. Always feels good. I'll trade Stoneforge for Knight of Autumn, I guess. There's playing whatever they top decked. Another Knight of Autumn. We could counter and bounce the Stoneforge and try to get Batterskull. Let's do that. Batterskull seems good here. Maybe unnecessary. Maybe bouncing Sanctuary was better to get Cryptic back. I think that most things are fine. Fetching with Tarn in response to the trigger would have been good. Maybe. There's no way we need all that mana, maybe? Seems fine. Yeah, I don't think we need to get sort of Fire and Ice going just yet. Just play out the Skull. Stop their aggro. We just have a counter spell, and we can counter anything they draw and just kill them in the air next turn. Don't need to think too hard. GG. They're dead on board. Tough matchup. Managed to steal it. Sadly, we didn't get to Tails End the Yorion return trigger. And GG. We're 4-0, baby. 4-0. Alright, Hannah's amazing, amazing, amazing. Gonna keep this. Teferi response is too good for Modern. I hope so. That card is awesome. Okay. Let's play Strand here. I could see just playing basic Island and planning on fetching a Prairie stream off of this, but you know, we might want to cast Archmage's Charm on turn 3, and it's very likely that we cast Spell Snare this turn, although our opponent didn't play into it. Let's get a Batterskull, I think. Not overthink it too much. Does Stoneblade have any ideal matchups? Stoneblade's definitely a deck that it feels like you have a lot of pretty even matchups, but nothing that's like, you know, so good for you. I'm gonna let this resolve. It's fine. I could see forcing, but I really want to steal this Vio with Archmage's Charm. And if we do that, then we the only way to do that is to get the island from path. Yeah, Ad Nauseam is the best matchup, but you know, every good matchup is losable and every bad matchup is winnable, of course. I guess Flickerwisp would be bad, but they need to have another white source, which it kind of seems like they don't right now. Sword of Fire and Ice is good against me. Let's force that. Let's force that. And let's say always no, always yield. All of our creatures are 2-drops. Sorry, it's just Stoneforge Mystic, the only creature, and I'd love to find one here. No Snapcasters in this version. Put back Feast and Famine. Shark, not likely going to matter all too much, I guess. Not a great couple of cards to draw, but not the end of the world. They might shuffle off a Field of Ruin, but that's a really tempo negative play for them. Alright. One game away from a 5-0. And this is a matchup that I'm not this is like the matchup that I'm not playing on Thanice for, so I feel kind of paid off for that. Earlier I was thinking about playing one Tails End that counters Thalia, Flickerwisp return triggers, or enters triggers, I guess. Counters Stoneforge Mystic, ETB, counters Ghost Quarter, counters Field of Ruin. Maybe I can talk myself into playing 2 copies. I do like this. Teferi. Spreading Seas is kind of not great. Remand is okay against them. I'm just going to play all of them, honestly. Let's just, yeah, just fuck it. Let's do it. Tails End has been great today. Really, really good suggestion from chat. Hand is weird. Spell Snare is great. Our opponent's mulliganed once. Although 2 lands and 3 4-drops is not ideal. I think I'm going to keep. Yeah, Tails It is mostly for the cat combo deck, which I was pretty scared of, but I also haven't seen it a ton the last couple days. But I'm pretty scared of it. I think that deck is really good. Yeah, Snare is probably going to be great. Literally 10 leagues, 10 4-1s, G's. So consistent. I don't think I've ever had a 10 in a row 4-1 streak. Maybe 5 in a row is the most I've had. Second Hallowed Fountain is kind of painful, but I'm just going to get it. Love to draw a land. Like, we might need double white with Condemn, Stoneforge, and Settle the Wreckage. And Path. Skyclave, so good. Alright, land would be great. I don't like this attack very much. I guess it's not terrible. Awesome. If they attack with both, for some reason, we can condemn the Skyclave and then block the Giver, but I doubt they would do that. I do think we're supposed to kill both creatures here. That way, if we draw land, we get to play Jace on an uncontested board, maybe? Or, you know, not even uncontested. We have a 2-2. This is really bad if they have exactly Thalia. We've already countered one Thalia. They only have 2 cards in their hand. Stoneforge Mystic is good here, but it's not quite as good as Thalia. So land is good, and we also have some spells that would be good draws too. Awesome. So their hand. So if they have exactly Sword of Fire and Ice plus land as the two as their draw step, if their draw step makes that the 2 unknown cards, we're in kind of tough shape. Tough shape. But beyond that, I think we're fine. Sorry, stuttering a lot here. It's kind of cold in my room. I don't think tapping the Giver to give it protection really matters very much, because if I'm going to kill the apparition, I'll just kill it in response to the protection. And if I'm not going to kill it, I'm just not going to cast anything. I don't think giving it protection in response plays around anything besides maybe like Snapcaster. It's cold for a Texan, and cold for a Texan wearing a pineapple shirt. But I also like to keep this room cold for my computer, for my PC. Yeah, it gets down to like the 30s in the winter. Sometimes like even 15, 20 degrees at the very lowest. Which is not, you know, cold for northerners, but whatever. Okay, they flicker with, this makes sense. Flicker with their Stoneforge. Confuse Celsius noises. I think I want to main phase. We know the top card of our library is a fetch. I want to main phase get back Condemn and then brainstorm into it to try to bait a big attack here. Or maybe not a big attack, but just an attack with like at least 2 of their creatures. Maybe Path is better. I feel like Condemn is better at baiting the attack. Although drawing Tef, we can actually just like play with the Condemn and... No. That's bad if they put the sword on the Stoneforge. Let's pass. Yeah, Settle is a recent inclusion. I have been playing a Supreme Verdict in this spot in the past, and they both have their own pros and cons, and I kind of just wanted to play Settle today to maybe blow some people out and see if I can get some people. If they put Sword of Fire and Ice on Stoneforge Mystic and we get to Settle, it's going to be so good. What is the best sword that gives pro white? There's not one. None of them are good. Or good enough to be like a modern playable card, in my opinion, and I have played with a lot of them, but I really dislike all of them. And also, pro white is bad if you're playing Giver of Runes. Keep that in mind. Pro white is bad if you're playing Giver of Runes because then you can't give your creature protection with Giver. Alright. Let's cast the Settle. It's you know, gonna kind of rot in our hand if we don't. Yeah, War and Peace and Fire and Ice are, I suppose, like playable cards, but they're also just not very good, I think. I should have kept Flooded Strand. No, it doesn't matter. I can just get Prairie Stream if I want white. They know about my Condemn. They may have forgotten about it because I've been doing a lot of brainstorming. Their hand is Aether Vial, mystery card. So if you want to avoid this situation, if you're my opponent, what you want to do is you want to tap Stoneforge Mystic, activate its ability, and then hold priority, and then spend 3 mana to put Batterskull in your hand. Otherwise, you can kind of get into spots like this. I think I'm just going to leave this fetch uncracked. Cool. The Germ token is black, so we can attack through with sort of Feast and Famine on our Illusion spike. Illusions. They'll discard their Aether Vial, but I think this is still a fine, you know, tempo swing here. What does this token allude to? Yeah, illusion spike. It's a literary device, Spike. It's not really a token, you see. It's a metaphor. I think I'm fine cycling the next Teferi, bouncing sort of Fire and Ice and getting Path back. Just say it's Streets ahead. We are not Streets ahead. We're like a whole city ahead at this point. Maybe I'll just plus instead, and that way if they go Hellbent, we can make them discard a card with whatever we bounce. We don't need to draw Path right now. Where does the illusion joke come from? It's Arrested Development. There's a character who is a magician and says, you know, he doesn't do tricks, he does illusions. Will Arnett is the actor, who's a actor I like a lot. Resolves. And I'll say no. I think I'd rather just draw the Path than get a land out of my deck. Alright, we gotta back up Jace in our hand. Surely they're not gonna choose Sword of Feast and Famine, right? Yeah, I know the full quote. So Simon, okay, the Stoneforge Mystic Batterskull thing. You want to tap Stoneforge Mystic, and then you want to hold priority to bounce the Batterskull, and then the Stoneforge Mystic will resolve after that. If you just bounce Batterskull first, you can do what I did to my opponent and simply kill the Stoneforge Mystic before they can tap it, and the Batterskull is just not in their hand if you know we kill it in that window. There's Tail's End. Probably not going to be that impactful here, but doesn't seem bad. If they just attack with Skyclave Apparition, I think I'll just block. And then equip onto the Illusion. Yeah, Fran, I thought the same thing. It was really weird to see, I can never remember that actor's name, but it was weird to see him in a like really serious role. Although he was always serious in the Arrested Development show. He's always like just the straight white guy that you bounce all the weirdness off of. And that's still kind of true in the Ozark. Yeah, Jason Bateman, thank you. Couldn't remember the name. I remember the face, but can't recall the name. So we get Tails in the living weapon trigger that my opponent's trying to do in the damage step here. But we can also just equip and get past the black creature, you know? So it doesn't seem very necessary. Jason Bateman and Will Arnett have a pretty good podcast together. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll just equip both swords instead of the skull. And they'll be dead next turn. We'll just condemn the token, or sorry, path the token so they don't gain life. Could hard cast Typhoon for the people. It's not correct to do so. But I think we do it for the people, you know, for the fans. And upkeep path, I guess. Not that this plays around anything that's usually played. It is a hard cast Shark Typhoon stream after all. Yeah, it's for the 5-0. You can't not, you know, flex on them. Opponent is a true warrior for not conceding yet. There's probably some card that they could, like Skyclave Apparition, maybe. I guess we can't beat that. Bouncing Batterskull is really bad because it means we can discard it with Sword of Feast and Famine, so they're not supposed to do it right now. You played around them getting an extra angel from the Angel Miracle? Exactly, exactly. Although I didn't play around the Angel Miracle very well by not holding up Tails into Remand. Well, my opponent's not dead on board because they can block, and they actually have blocking with Pro Blue. So this is like a fine. It's not. It's good for them to not concede yet, but we have a path and they're dead. Did they know we had path? I don't know. Whatever. Well, our opponent will realize they're dead sometime today, and we'll 5-0. And we'll be on the front page of the trophy place. Let's watch it from here. See if my opponent concedes, and we can see the name Aspiring Spike, which is just peeking down at the bottom here. Jump up top. Any second now. They've conceded the game, I see in the log. Oh man. Did it too early. 5-0, baby, 5-0.